My name is Anna and I love to make dolls. I have been doing rag dolls since I was 17. You can imagine how many years I'm doing rag dolls and soft toys. I make my own patterns and I improve with the time. Then those are some of the rag dolls I did lately. I am very happy to share with you all my skills and also the patterns. What do you need to do your rag dolls? Well, we need basic things. One are the tools, secondly are the materials, and third there are the patterns. Those are the tools. Then you need a good sewing machine. You need, of course, scissors for the fabric, scissors for the paper. You need a ruler. This is my gradient ruler, but could be any ruler. Your pins, hand needles, markers, and pencils. Which material do you need? Do you need fabrics for the skin, for the body? This fabric is called broadcloth or homespun. You will need only 25 centimeters. Also, you are going to need fabric for the dress and the shoes, the trims. I'm planning to do 2 dresses in this video, and this is one dress with the shoes, and those are the fabric for the other dress with the shoes and the trims. The hair. For the hair we need wool. I select the wool according with the colors that I need to match the shoes and the dresses. According with the colors that you choose on your dresses, you have to select also the threads that you are going to use. Those for the body and those for the dress and shoes. Also, you are going to need the acrylics. Also, you are going to need filling. You are going to need 250 grams. Finally, you need the patterns. I have pattern for the body, pattern for the dresses, and pattern for the bloomers. Then we are ready to start. In this chapter, we are going to learn how to combine the colors, how to choose the colors. The first thing I choose is the color for the dress. Then I choose this fabric. This is the main thing. Then all the colors, they go around this fabric. I choose, for example, to combine with orange and also with purple. Then I have this orange for the trims, maybe purple for the shoes, this or this, I don't know yet. And after that, well, I don't know if I will use them, but I have those trims that I could use in some part of the dress. We have to try not to do too much. This for the undies maybe. And finally, what you have to choose is the hair. In this second doll, I will choose this fabric, and really I don't have too many choices here. I will combine the brown and the green only. Now we have to show the skin. I think because a little orange here, this fabric for the skin and the body will be perfect. Well, now is the section of the cutout and lying. Then we have here the skin color, and we have the pattern for the body. I have the body cut one pair. The fabric is in 2 layers. You can see it's in 2 layers. Here is the folding. In this side are the selvage. Then the first thing that you have to do is trace around, just with pencil, around my patterns. There are some notches. Can you see? There are some notches. Here there is a notch. Here there are notches that we have to mark as well. Okay, I already put the pins in all the pieces, and that allows me to just rotate the fabric for more comfort for cutting. Then you can just start cutting exactly into the line. Those patterns, as you can see, you are going to receive those patterns, has seam allowance 0.6. Then you don't need to add anything more. Just cut into the line, and we'll be fine. Now, when you are cutting around, you have to do this with the notches. This notch is not in, this notch is not in. Then you have to cut around and do a little notches like this. Just with the point like this. I have done something to show. The body, the legs, has been sewed with the shoes. Then we have to cut also the shoes in this part, in this stage, because we are going to sew with the legs. Then we trace the shoe all around. We put the notches, and in the same way we are going to cut around. This is the pattern for the pants or bloomers. I'm planning to do with this fabric. Then this is the time to cut. Okay, we are back here, and we already cut our bodies, the legs, the arms, the head. This. Okay, here we are going to cut this dress. I think that is better for this sort of fabric that is stiff, not to put any gathering, any ruffle. In this back piece, you have different notches because I have pleats. I'm going to show how to assemble this dress later. I would like to show what I'm going to cut. Can you see this trim? And this trim is just to break the joint of the 2 fabrics. Then I will cut in a bias this trim 3 centimeters wide, and I will cut in this way. Here, 3 centimeters wide in a bias. Okay, here you are. We finished cutting the dress. Here is the front. With the front, you have the trim that maybe is going to be on the center here. This is the back, with the body back, the sleeves. It's important to remember to cut the Velcro, more or less 10 centimeters, 12 centimeters. We are going to cut in 2. Hi again. Now we are on the lesson number 4. In this lesson I will teach you how to sew the bodies. Then this is the doll that we have. We take the dress, we take the bloomer. What I have, the doll, of course, is with the hair and the eyes, but this is what we are going to do. The body with the shoes. This is the second doll that I was talking before. We have the head, the legs, the shoelace, the top of the shoes, and the sole, the arms, and the body. The first step we are going to do is make the legs with the shoes. We are going to plan what we are going to do. This is the right side of the leg, and we are going to pin and sew here the shoelace. After this is done, we are going to place right side to right side, and we are going to just pin and sew the top of the shoes with the leg, right side to right side, and we are going to sew this. We sew the shoelace over the right side of the legs. After that, we are going to place right side to right side the top of the shoes, making sure that the center is exactly on the center of the legs. And then we have one here ready. and we are going to sew. Seam allowance 0.6. Remember always to reverse on the end. Then after this, what we are going to do is we are going to sew the back of the shoes, this area, from here to there. I pin all the leg, but I'm not going to sew the legs now because I am sewing with brown. Then I will sew only the back of the shoes, only the back. After that we have to sew the sole, but I would like to tell you something. As you can see, the sole is wider in one side and narrow on the other side. Then just make sure that the wider is for the front and the narrow is for the back. Then we are going to pin. Then we pin all around and we are going to sew. One thing that you have to make sure is that the seam on the back is flat, it's open, no? It's open just to avoid the bulk. And we sew all around. Remember, it's 0.6 seam allowance. We are going to do the other one. Always pay attention that the seam into the back is nice and flat. Once the shoe is ready, the next step will be sew the back of the legs. You have to change the color thread to do that. Remember always to reverse on the beginning and into the end. Once the back of the legs are ready, we are going to turn on out. Then the seam match on the back and you don't have any hole. Always check in all the process that you don't have any hole into the sewing. It's very easy to have them because it's only 0.6 seam allowance. Then we have the legs ready. Next step is sewing the arms. Then you have 0.6 seam allowance. Then it's better to draw all around your seam allowance. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's better to draw a line because it's difficult to sew the curves when you have 0.6 seam allowance. Then it's easier, can you see, when the lines are marked, it's easier to sew over the line. In this corner we have to pivot. Pivot is needle in, foot up, and you go around the curve. For the curve, don't try to do all in one. You have to stop and just organize every 3 stitches because the curve is very deep. It's very close. Then I will do again. Here I have another pivot point, needle in, foot up, and sew around. Once this is already done, you have to clip here in every corner, here, there, and there. Then clip, no deeper than the seam allowance, of course, deep. Another clip before turning. Then for turning, you have to push through until you get the complete arm. As you can see, you push all around to make the curves. And can you see here, it's very defined, the thumb. Then you have to do 2 of them. This is the head, and I already draw all around the seam allowance. I mark the notches. The notches are very, very important. This is the front of the head, the front piece, and this is the back. Then the notches are, because once we are going to pin this point with this point, and this notch with this notch, and this notch with this notch. I'm going to pin and I will show what I have. I already pinned the front of the head and we are going to rotate. I have here a notch. You have to just make matching the notches before keep pinning, because if you keep pinning without matching the notches, it's going to stretch and always is going to be one fabric longer than the other one. And you can see I just matched the other notch and I have to match the end. Only after you do those pins, those join the notches, you have to pin the rest. You pin first the notches, and after that all around the patterns match it perfectly. Then we start sewing. Remember, this is always I am going to tell you several times, remember to reverse on the beginning and into the end, because when we are going to do the filling, we are going to push all the seams, then should be very reinforced, especially the beginning and the end. Sew around the curve slowly, because we want to have perfect cheeks. Then once that we are on the corner, we pivot and then we sew the curve. Because the shape of the two patterns that are different, it's very easy to get some pleats, some puckering. Well, if it's in this area, that is the front, you have to pay a lot of attention. But if it's on the back, never mind, because it's going to be covered by with the hair. We finish sewing, and we have to reverse. We pin the other side, and now we are sewing. Finalizing the other side and reverse. And this is what we get. Then what we are going to do before turning out is to mark and clip the corners. Then those from the chins that are extremely important, because they are going to form the head. I'm going to pull through. For that reason, always I said reverse on the beginning and to the end. And here are the two chins. Here is the head. The next step is forming the body. Then to do the body, we need to sew the arms, but the arms still is empty. Then what we have to do is we're going to fill the arms. Then I will show how to fill the arms. Then we just put inside some filling. You will need maybe some wooden stick for helping. And then when you're doing this section of the hands, you have to make sure that the filling is right to the end of the hands. Once that you fill the whole arm, what you need is to sew the top, just to sew. Then once the two arms are already filled and sew close, we are going to sew over the right side of the body in this way. This is like this, and you have a notch. I don't know you see, but I can see the notch, and I will just sew pin first, and I'm going to sew like this, in this way. Then you are going to have something like this. Doesn't need to be perfect, just attach into the body. This is what we get. It's already sewn, and this is the right side. Then what we are going to need is to sew the other side of the body over and sew this side. I'm going to pin first. Just like this. You pin the two sides, and my arms are here inside. But don't worry, just push in when you are going to sew the sides. We sew the sides, and I will show what I'm going to do onto the arms, because it's difficult to sew. Then you have the bulk of the filling. Just push outside to the left and just keep sewing. Then what you're going to do is reverse into the arm, because the arm should be fixed twice. And again. Always reversing. Do the clipping into the corner. I didn't advance this. And then we are going to pull through to the right side. This is what we get. The next step is sewing the legs, but first we have to fill them like this. I did one in advance. We are going to do the other one. I will show how to do it. At this stage you know how to do the filling, but I would like always to make sure that you get the idea. The idea is to just push the filling, the cotton filling, just to make round. Don't have, for example, filling and get those corners. No, you have to just to push through to rid off of the corners and just have a round shoes. And we close the legs. Then the legs are ready and they are closed. Then we are going to sew the legs into the body in this way. Then you have here the body, and this is the right side, obviously. We are going to place, here is the center, and here we are going to place in one layer only, and we are going to pin. But remember, in one layer only, not the two layers, only one layer. This, and the two that are facing in the same way. Then this is what we get. So only one side. Then we are going to sew the other side in this way. I already pressed the other side, and I will encase the legs, and we are going to pin. After we pin, we have to sew. We will reverse. And we sew, making sure that you're catching the leg. Making sure that you push everything inside to have nice finishing. Never mind if it's crooked. And this is what we get. Then the next step is filling the body. Then once that we already fill the body and the head, we are going to sew them together. Then pay attention in this. They are very well filled, both of them. Then you have just to accommodate, just to make sure that you have the seam allowance plus something more folded under. And after that, here is nice. And then we are going to pin. We pin first to have a look, and after that we are going to sew. Let me put 2 pins before we move to the back. Make sure the center of the back is with the center of the body. Then, and after that we do exactly the same. You just push in and fold both before I start pinning. The front is pinned already. Here we have to have it smooth, and then we start pinning. Okay, we are here again, and we need now to sew all around one needle that is large and thick. Then we start to do this sewing like a snake. We take one of the top, one of the bottom, and we don't have to show the stitches. Here we have the seam allowance. We have to do 3 rounds. Then whatever imperfection that we have on the first round, we fix on the second or even on the third. Then we go all around. Now another thing is that this seam could be covered with one ribbon. And here we are doing the back. Now, really, I am doing this outside my body because I have to show to the camera. But really what I do is this. I will show you. See, I place the doll against my body because I need a support. And then we are going to do all around 3 times. And we are finishing the neck. I did, I think, 3 or 4 rounds. Okay, I think it's enough. Then after we cut, what we are going to do is to cover all the stitches, we are going to use 20 centimeters of ribbon, the same color of the skin, just to cover, just 20 centimeters. You can glue and you can sew into the back. As you can see, it's ready. This is the bloomer that we are going to sew. For the bloomer we need the fabric that we already cut, the elastic 25 centimeters, 0.6 of elastic, and I will put some lace on the bottom. Then what I'm going to do is press the bottom to sew the lace over. Then we have the bloomers already with the lace. What we have to do is sew right side to right side and sew the crotch. This area and this area only. Please don't continue sewing because those are the legs. Sewing the sides and overlock. Then after we sew and overlock the side, what we are going to do, they are sewing the legs. Then you place like in this position and we are going to sew the legs and overlock. The bloomer is almost done, but we have to do the elastic. For the elastic we need 25 centimeters and you have to mark in half and quarters to apply into the inside the bloomers. I recommend to press 1 centimeter all around. I mark in my bloomers also half and quarters. This is quarter and this should be matched with this quarter of the elastic. Then you have to stretch. I'm going to sew with zigzag. We're almost at the end and you have to overlap the elastic and keep sewing in zigzag. And here is the doll already with the bloomers. Now we are ready to sew the dress. Then this is the yoke and this is the skirt of the dress. As you can see, the skirt is wider than the yoke because it needs to be done one pleat before. I'm going to sew down 1.5 just to make secure, and I will place, can you see? It's exactly the same size, and in between I'm planning to put my strip. This is what you are going to get, but of course with the seam allowance. Go to the machine. We sew the bias binding into the yoke, 0.6 seam allowance. Then we are going to sew the yoke with the skirt, right side to right side together, 0.6 seam allowance. After sewing, you overlock just to clean the edges inside, and this is what we get. This is the front. The same we have to do with the back. Sewing the pleats, sewing the trim into the yoke, and sew together. Then we did the front, the back, and we join by the shoulders. Then the next step will be sewing one bias binding on the neckline and sewing the sleeves. We sew the binding into the neckline. That is the reason why was cut in a bias, because we need to stretch around the curves. Then here you are, you have the bias binding into the neckline. We pin the sleeve right side to right side together, and we are going to sew right to the other end. Then this is what we are going to have. Then after cleaning all the threads, this is what we get. The dress with the sleeve. I did already hem into the edges of the sleeve because after that it's not going to be opportunity to do that. It's too difficult. We overlock the neckline, we overlock the sleeve, and we are ready to sew for inside. Then we align the sleeve, and we sew the side right into the hem. And here is the dress with the sleeve already, the sides already sewn. I made the hem, that is not difficult to do, just folding and sew, and also onto the back I did the hem as well in both sides. The next step is very important because I have to sew the Velcro into the back of the dress. Then one side will be here under, and the other side is going to be over, then it's going to close. Don't make me saying sewing the two under or the two over. It should be one under and one over. I'm going to sew. I sew just a square, one rectangle, just into the edges. Then here is where we sew the Velcro. This is for the crochet, can you see? Now what I'm going to do now, well, you don't have to do, but I will sew this flower into the dress just to break, need something, and after that I will show how to do the bow for the hair. Here is the dress, already closed. It's not cute? Very nice. Then what we have to do is we are going to pull through the bow for the hole. After you pull through, you have just to push just to form the corners. You can press and you can reserve for later to make the hair, to make the bow into the hair. And here is Molly. I will call her Molly. This is the second doll, and this is the second dress I was talking before on the beginning of the video. And those are the bloomers, and the shoes has a detail of the flower. Okay, we are going to start doing the hair for the first doll now. Here we are back again, and we are going to make the hair. But before the hair, we are going to prepare the scalp to receive the wool. Here is my doll, and look at that. On the scalp, if you just go inside, it has been painted. Then why is the reason why I do that? To use less wool, also to close. I don't want to show any of the skin, any of the scalp. Then I do that just to make sure that everything is even. I will show another doll as well. This is Katie, and if you can see, is already painted here. Then I use a little less wool, and also I don't want to show, sometimes it's not full enough, the wool, and I don't want to show the scalp. Then you see, then this one, make sure that you are not going to show the scalp at all. I prepare in advance my line. Then I would like to show you what I do. I just trace all around. Oh, it's a little crooked. I can make better now. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I have a line that gives you limits for the hair. Now we are going to make the paint. I'm using this color violet. This is just acrylic. You can buy in your art supplies. Then I use this. Sometimes if it's too thick, the painting, then you can use a little water. I use a brush, a little, the biggest that you can get. Yes, I think it's a little thick. Then I will just, don't pour like this because it will be too, just give some drops. And start to make the painting a little thinner. Depends on the style of hair. You can just make a line into the center. that delimited the, okay, yes, limit the half of the scalp. Then we start painting. Doesn't have to be perfect, just go around. Just like that. We are in the middle of the scalp, and we keep painting. As you can see, it's not difficult, doesn't take any time. Just paint to cover the scalp. Now we are back again and just finishing the edges. I will show you what I get. Was just enough to paint the scalp. Good calculation. And here we finish preparing the scalp. And it's like a week. Okay. She has to rest for one day. Tomorrow we are going to do the hair. Here is our doll Rosie, I will call Rosie, with the scalp already dry. Then I will show you. It's not even, but never mind, this will be covered with the hair. Now to sew the hair, we are going to need some handcraft needles. There are thick needles, sometimes coarse. We don't need coarse for this doll, but I need just my long and thick needle. I already thread one with the right thread, and we are going to start. Here is Kitty. Then she has a curly hair, and this is the hair that we are going to do today. As you can see, there are loops of wool all around. I will show the back. All around, and you can do as tight as you can. Can you see? In some areas you have some hole, but you are not going to notice because you have she has the scalp painted. And we start. We need the wool that you choose. I will combine those two, and I will just have a length of wool, more or less 70 centimeters, 1 meter. We are going to cut, and we are going to make a big loop, all the length. Then you are going to have how many of these? Between 30 to 60? No, maybe too many. Maybe 30. I didn't count when I do that. Then I have a big loop. And I have just to make a big loop. We cut one strip of wool and we just tie the loop. I just cut the tails. Then you have this loop. You are going to need several of them to start. Then we have to start planning. You can place the loops in this position or in this position. I will do in this position because I would like to have a sort of fringe, and you have to plan. Then we have to pin in which position you need the loops. One here. The next one, you can spread as much as you want, but if you don't want to see anything, maybe you have to do close. Then more or less every centimeter or centimeters and a half, depends how much wool you have. And we continue. Just to give an idea, I just make 6 loops and I just pin all of them just to make sure they are nice. This is what you want, and more or less to calculate how many you need. Then all this area is 6. You are going to need 6 for this area, 6 for this area, another 6, another 6, another 6. Then you need a sort of 48, 50 more or less, between 30 to 50. Then I will start sewing. Then I will just use my thick needle and I will start sewing loop by loop. Now, once you paint the scalp, it's a little harder than the fabric. Then you have to just to push a little bit. That is the reason why we use thick needles. This is the last one of the 6. As you can see, it's not difficult, just sew into the loop. I will show you how it looks like. Then I did this in my own time, and I spent like 5 minutes maybe or less, just for you to calculate how long you are going to. I will leave here. Yeah. Here already the first 6 loops. We have to continue in this side, and after that do vertical lines or horizontal lines. You can just make physically with the pencil. You want to feel to follow some lines. Okay, then we are going to continue and see you a little later. After I finished one side, I did another 6 and I placed into the other side just to make even. This is what you need. Then I did 12 loops for the front, and I did 28 more, 14 for each side. I just separate just to start to make half the head with all those loops and half the head with all those loops. Then it's going to be even. Then don't join and start to place, because otherwise you are going to need much more. Just part in half and work half of the head first and half of the head after. Just to give an idea, I just plan all my 14 loops in this side plus the 6. It means that in the half head I use 20 loops. But this is how it looks like. You can see at all the scalp, but of course you do like this. Yes, you will do. Then this is how we did. We plan first, put in the pins, then I will start sewing this side, and after that I will do the other side. Finally, we need 1 loop more to sew. Then at the end I did 4 loops more. Then in total I did 44 loops. Between making the loops and sewing the hair, I took 2 hours, I think. I didn't mind because I was watching television, some videos, listening some music, then just having a good time sewing your loops. 1 more and it's ready. Then this is a curly hair. We can do also a straight hair. Then this is what we get. Okay, then we are ready to sew the bow. I have the bow already made. I can sew here. And after that, it's ready for painting the eyes and the face. This is one of my dolls, and she has a straight hair, and I did a couple of ponytails. Then that is what I'm going to show you. But the other doll, I will do a couple of braids. But this is the straight hair. This is another straight hair, but short hair. Then for doing this, we have to just do several lines. It's difficult to. This one I didn't paint, and then I can show you. Very good. Then, as you can see, I did lines and lines and lines of hair. Then this is one line. This is another line. Then it's more work, but you can get this result. A lot of hair, short hair. Here is Molly. I did the preparation of the scalp. I paint all around like I did for Rosie. And now we are going to do the hair. Now this time we are going to do a straight hair. This is what I want to achieve. Just sew some strings of wool. No, I will combine those wool just to have some light into the hair, and sew for the center. I will show how I did. Then you will need a cardboard, and we are going just to wrap several strings of wool. I will show in a minute what I get. Then I just finished. I did 2 colors. I cut and I will mark. Well, I have to tell you something. This is the longest hair. If I wrap in this way, it's going to be shorter. I need longer and shorter. I will tell you why. Then the first thing I have to do is mark here 1 chalk where I'm going to sew. Once you finish, you cut in one side. And we sew into the line. Can you see this yellow line? Let's push and sew. You have to do twice. And this is what we get. And then we are going to place into the head, just around the edges of the wig, and also into the center, like this. You place. And we are going to pin first. Pin, pin, pin all around. And after that, we start sewing. Just sew over the stitching line. Don't worry, it's not going to be messy because all those hair is going to be with ponytail or with braid, then you are not going to see at all. If you are planning to do one ponytail here on the side, one in each side, I recommend to have shortest hair here on the front and longest here into the back because it needs more length to go to the ponytail. It's okay. I will keep sewing. Then once I sew all the front, as you can see, has been sewn, I'm going to start pinning the center, the line of the center, all around. If you need more, you can patch. There is no problem in patching. And after that, we are going to sew in the same way. And this is what we get, the center back. And I finish the right side. I will show you what I get. As you can see, it's only the center and all around. Everything is already sewn, but I put some pins here because I would like to do some style. I will show you what I want to achieve. In this side, I did a ponytail, but with this half of the hair towards the front, I did one braid, like this. I have here the pins, and this I already sewed them. I can take the pins out. I just put the pins to show where the seam is, and I will do one ponytail with all this hair. I just comb with my fingers all the hair all around until it's even and nice, and then I will start making a ponytail. Three times because it should be stronger. Can you see? It's done. I will do the braid. Now from this area, the front, I just part the hair in 3 and I will do a braid. Everybody knows how to do the braid, I suppose, but if it's not, it's like this. One side, we tied the braid, and you can see it's very uneven here. Then we have just to cut, just to make even. The same with the tail. Then it's already trimmed. The next step is, I like to have fringes, but this time I will do a loop here into the, like a fringe, but in loop. Then I will put here. Then it's ready to put the bow and do the ribbon into the braids and into the tail. We see you later because we have to do the painting of the eyes. Here we are. Then we finish the hair. We are going to continue with the eyes. You're going to get those drawings I made for myself to help you to draw the eyes. Then what you're going to need is to get some tissue paper and trace off the eyes and the mouth and just take out, just cut off the eyes and the mouth. Then you are going to have like a stencil. You have this and this drawing. Then round eyes, just like a animated toy, and this is like more like a person. No, but really it's not a person. Then just to get an idea how beautiful you can do the eyes. As you can see, I enlarge this bigger. Can you see here the different feature you can get? The iris, no, is the color. We are going to get as well the pupil, and also this white is called sclera, but we are going to call the white of the eyes, no? And we are going to, this is what we are going to do. This is my stencil, and I just pin into the face. Then we are going to draw just with just normal pencil, but not too deep, because sometimes we make mistake. Maybe we can just fix the mistakes. Then I just draw all around. We are going to start painting the eyes, but I would like to show you the different type of brushes that you can get. Those two are for the large surface, maybe for the white of the eyes, no? And those small, they are for fine lines, like for the eyes, for the mouth, for the nose. Then you have to get some brushes in different width. This is color for fabrics. Also you can use acrylic. Now for the white, I need to be thick because it should cover the skin. It's not too bad, no? Then I will start painting the white part, the sclerotic line. Never mind the name, Arctic white. Then you are going to, always you have to have the little fingers pressed into the head. You have to have a pivoting point. If you start painting like this, you don't have any support. Then you have to have pivoting point with the pinky. Okay, then I will finish one to give you an idea how it should be. Can you see? I cover everything. Then here you have just to make sure that you don't miss the shape of the curve. Okay, what I was telling is that you have to just make sure that you are going to cover. Here is a little hair that you have to just, with one pin, you are going to take out. If you have some, because the wool, you have some little leftover of the wool, you can use just a sticky tape and take it out. I will finish this area. And remember that those, okay, this white will be covered with a color, and also, okay. Okay, I think it's enough. Oh, I covered the little dust from the wool. Okay, this is what we get. Okay, we did one, we are going to do the other one. I finished the eyes and they have to be dry. Then in the meantime, I will pick up all the rest of the wool with my sticky tape, because the next will be the mouth. For the mouth, I will use color for fabric in color cherry, and it's a little thick. It's not too, it's okay, but always you have to try in a piece of paper first, just to see how much we have to carry. Can you see? Because if you do like that, oh, it's too much. Then you have just to graduate. You have to see how much quantity of ink you have to get. Can you see here was too much, because then now it's better. This one will be perfect, I hope. Okay, then always is good to try in one paper first. Never mind you made mistake, just try. And then when you are confident, we can do the doll. Then always use the pivot point, because you have to raise, you have to have a support. And then you are going, especially for this area, because you are going to do the mouth. You have rest of ghouls. You're going to catch. Then I will just make even here. And the next step will be to paint the iris here, the color. Then you have to just do a rehearsal in paper like this. Now, which color will be and how it's going to look like. Then once you are happy with the quantity of paint that you have in the brush, you start to do your doll. We are going to draw the iris thing. You can fix here if there are different. I think it's okay. We are going to start. Then I have my paint. Always built-in point. Yes, you can do with any color. Could be green, even could be with the same color as the hair. But I prefer to do this color, just to repeat the color of the dress. Then I will show you something that is very important. Because the brush carry too much paint, that I need the paint, it's okay. Then you are going to do towards the center, then all the painting will have some lines that looks like the eyes, okay? We are going to paint the pupil, then we are going to do the rehearsal first in my notebook, always in paper first. Then just a point, don't charge too much, don't put too much ink into the brush. Now I'm using one square. It's difficult to get the rounded curves. What do you think? It's okay or too small? Maybe too small. I will do a little bigger. Always use the pinky to have some support and paint. Oh, now I have to do a little bigger. I will use it's time to use the not the round, not the square, but the round. Now we have to do the contour of the eyes, the contour, the eyebrow, the eyelashes, and the nose, all in one. Then, if it's already wet, the pupil, never mind. Then we are going to go around. Then this is have to be. Now because I'm filming, I am with the doll stand just to show you, but really have to just to lean into the table. But I will try to do my best because I like to show. I'm using as you can see, the skinny brush because it should be just skin. Here is the doll, and we already finished the eyes. If, for example, you have some mistake on the outside, what I do is with white start to fix this. Can you see? Fix with the white any unevenness that you have on the outline, because it's difficult to do that. Now the next step we are going to do are the water into the eyes and the light. As you can see, you have some light here, some light, and also some white like water here. Then it's a little lighter than the rest of the iris. I have another one, and it's the same. Can you see some light here and some water, some reflect of the light? That is what we are going to do. Then I have a light blue here. We adding some light into the eyes, at the window, and one dot. As you can see, we finish all the painting of the eyes. I correct with the white all the imperfections. And the last step is just put some rouge into the cheeks, into the nose, and into the chin. Then Rosie is ready. I hope you enjoyed this video. Before finish, I would like to show you two different eyes. Then again, we are going to use one template to draw the eyes. Always make a rehearsal in the paper of the drawing, of the coloring in paper. Also, I saw on the web some ladies who just do the drawing on the fabric, even before cutting, like the next photograph. Then the first step always will be paint the white of the eyes with thick painting. I will do this and I will come back. Then we are going to finalize to draw the iris. And after that we are going to do the green. I already combined different greens. Then I will start painting. I don't know you realize that on the green I have different shades of green, more clear, darker, and all dark all around. Then the next step will be the pupil. I will start painting. I start with one square brush, and maybe to go around I will need a fine brush. I will do this and the other one, and I will come back. The next step will be outline the eyes. Then just use a very small brush like this, and also a little liquid the paint, not too thick because they have to run. More or less this consistency. Cut. We have the contour of the mouth and we are going to paint. Then this is a fine work. You have to take time doing this. In the middle could be just fill, but on the edges you have to have good skills to do this. Always place this finger like a pivoting point, like a support. Okay, I will finish the mouth and I will show you. And here is Molly finished with the light and the eyelashes and the eyebrow, and look at the detail of the mouth. And here is Rosie and Molly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, oh sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Sugar, you are my candy girl, sunshine, pour your sweetness over me. Pour your sweetness